Tonight we will have Mr. Harry Hooker perform our pledge and our prayer.
Before we stand, I'd like to take a moment to, first off, greetings to the honorable members of the board, to Mr. Howley and his staff. Today we memorialize one of our teachers, Ms. Catherine Cooksey Toussaint, who served 36 years in education, but 18 years in Beauregard Parish, and 18 years at Beauregard Alternative Program. And I just want to take a moment to honor the memory and life of one of our dedicated teachers. Thank you. Let us pray. Father God, in the name of Jesus Christ, we come before you with thanks. Thank you for bringing us together to serve our students and community. Grant us wisdom, unity, and clarity as we make decisions that impact young lives. Help us to lead with integrity and compassion. Bless our schools, staff, students, and families. In your name we pray. Amen and thank God.
Amen.
Attention, salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hooker. Okay, guys. Item number 1, to consider adopting the agenda as presented. Has everybody had a chance to look over the agenda? Any questions, any alterations? Having heard none, do I have a motion to adopt this agenda? Ms. Cynthia, and a second by Mr. Green. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Agenda is adopted. Item number 2, to consider adopting the minutes from the June 12th, 2025 regular meeting of the Beauregard Parish School Board as published in the official journal. Have all of you guys received your minutes and had a chance to review them? Any questions, comments? Having heard nothing, may I please have a motion to adopt the minutes?
Motion made.
Motion by Mr. Shirley, second by Mr. Redler. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Abstain.
Yeah, abstain.
2 abstentions. Ms. Cynthia and Mr. Bowman. Item number 3, to hear the superintendent's report. Mr. Hawley?
Thank you, Madam President. In lieu of our student rep to the board who will be back with us in the next month, I do have some information school-wise to bring to you. This summer, BPSB teachers dedicated time to professional growth through a variety of impactful training opportunities. Ms. Raina Hay, DES, Tracy Weldon, EBE, Misty Vidring, KR, Angela Briscoe, MHS, Stephanie Connor, SHS, Dana Weimer, Pinewood, Pam Hance, South Beauregard Elementary, and Amy Dennis, South Beauregard Upper Elementary. Admins that attended, Ms. Jennifer Frederick, Mark Weldon, Chad Schultz, Samantha Griffin, and Sally Ford. They were a group of K-5 teachers and admin participated in code.org training focused on implementing Louisiana new computer science standards in elementary education. Additionally, 4 teachers attended the STEM Energy Camp sponsored by Exxon at Sewella, where they received specialized training in science and STEM instruction centered around Louisiana's energy production. These teachers were Dana Weimer, Angela Nicholas, Ernest McClinton, and Jessica Serrano. 2 middle school teachers completed the Middle School Computer Science Discoveries Professional Development, enabling the district to offer this new course at 2 campuses beginning this next year. It was Mr. David Sanchez from Singer and Ms. Dana Weimer from Pinewood. Through the LSU Kane Center, 4 high school teachers received targeted training, 2 in robotics and 2 in STEM career pathways. As a result, students will have access to 2 new high school courses in the coming year. We are proud of our educators' commitment to continuous learning and excited about the new opportunities their training will bring to our students. For robotics, it was Josh Beard from DHS and Lisa Spooner from South Beauregard High. In the STEM career pathways, Ms. Kim Bailey from Dritter High School and Ashley Doyle from South Beauregard High School. Some of these trainings were in excess of 60 hours this summer, so teachers gave their time. They were compensated as per Act 311, but more than that, it was the time and what they will bring. As you notice with each additional trainings, it brings new courses in the areas of STEM, particularly with robotics and programming to our schools, and we are excited about that. do not believe I have anyone from Fort Polk tonight, as opposed to Fort Johnson, to give the, we did have a garrison commander change. Colonel Lopez is no longer with us, and I apologize for not having the name of the new garrison commander, but that will be coming up next month, and I have a special invitation for them to join us, and hopefully they will be able to do so. This time, I'd like to bring Mr. Eddie Jocelyn, supervisor over our school nurses, and to present a special recognition to one of our school nurse employees.
All right, good evening, Mr. Holly and board members. Tonight's one of those feel-good attaboys, so if you bear with me, I'd like to make a special presentation. This is Miss Andrea Ferguson. Many of you know her. She is a registered nurse. She's been so for 33 years. She has served 24 of those years with us at Beauregard, and 23 of those 24, she's been our lead coordinator across the parish. Some of her credentials include, there's a bunch of them, I'm kind of hit the highlights, there's a lot of them, but she has the American Heart Association Basic Life Support Instructor for 32 years. She is a Stop the Bleed instructor and ambassador across the state. She is a part of the National Association of School Nurses School Emergency Triage Trainer. That's a lot of words there. Is a member of the Louisiana Department of Education's LDOE School Nurse Work Group. She served as the Louisiana School Nurse Organization president for 4 years and served as the Louisiana director of the NASN for 4 years also. You may remember back in May of 2022, we did a special presentation for her. She was the first nurse in the state to receive the LDOE's the School Healthcare Provider for the State Award. That was pretty cool. So we're going to kind of continue that. The main purpose of this presentation is to share with you, Ms. Ferguson, that Ms. Ferguson has recently completed the School Nurse Emergency Care Instructor course. She completed the regular course back in 2019, and then COVID hit and kind of put a little sideline to a lot of our endeavors. But she began the instructor portion this last spring. This intensive and challenging program, based out of Illinois, equipped school nurses with the essential skills to assess, triage, handle injuries, medical emergencies, and disaster situations with confidence while being in the school setting. The intent of this course is to provide nurses who work in the school setting with emergency care education and guidelines that they can integrate into their current practice and use to deliver care to the ill or injured student or faculty member. The course continuously is revised to maintain up-to-date with current medical practices. Some of those topics include introduction to emergency medical services in Louisiana, introduction to EMSC and SNEC, those are things I alluded to on the top. The nurse's role, the emergency care, legal issues in nursing, assessment and triage, trauma and shock, caring for a multitude of levels of medical emergencies, planning for students with special health care needs. That's very important across our parish. And finally, school emergency and crisis response management. She's on our parish-wide safety team. Ms. Ferguson is the first, again, another first, school nurse in Louisiana to receive this credential. As an SNEC instructor, her intentions are to bring the course to other Louisiana school nurses as the coordinator for a statewide program. She has begun the process of adapting the course material to reflect Louisiana laws, policies, and procedures. A secondary purpose of this presentation tonight is to say to you and to the board members and to the public watching and listening, in all sincerity, we are very, very fortunate to have Ms. Ferguson on our team. She is very devoted and is never satisfied. She could sit on her 32 years and just say, you know, I'm good, but she has continued her education and continue to want to pass that knowledge on to our nurses in our squad and nurses across the state. So, Ms. Ferguson, we are very happy to have you with us. We appreciate you very much. I just want to give you a public attaboy and keep it up. Thank you very much.
I would like to take a picture with the president and board and vice president with Ms. Ferguson. Mr. Johnson, please. I'm going to go ahead and ask for forgiveness as Mr. Ensminger and I began our first combined maintenance report. I told him earlier that we probably need to come in with hard hats, at least we could get a laugh out of that. As of 7:15 this morning, I was making my trek across 80 acres of East Boulevard, hunting down a 564 gallon per hour leak. I got that alert from Miss Pam. I was like, surely there'll be a pond there, but there wasn't. And there's some other things that were taking place, major sewage issues that we are working on, and just we shut everything down at noon. The water we was using and haven't got anything. But today, Mr. Ensminger and I are going to give our first maintenance report. I will let him lead off, and then I will fill in the gaps as we go along. Go ahead, Mr. E.
All right. What we did was I took all the work orders and combined a list of those. Then Mr. Holly sent out an email to the principals or text and asked them to get a list together to make sure to double check their work orders on air conditioning systems so we could get an idea of where we're at a month ahead of school opening. So we've done that. We've cleared up a lot of those this week. And so Mr. Green left, and then I started on 6/23. We've had 167 total tickets opened in that time, and we've closed 141 of those. We have 25 open tickets, and 14 of those were written this week. 8 are HVAC, 4 electrical, 4 carpentry, 3 cafeteria, and 1 paint. And there's 5 in the other category that ranges from roof leaks to keys being cut to floor tile needs to be put back down or something like that. But we made great strides. We've also, Mr. Green had initiated a project out at East Boulevard for air conditioning out there in the second floor with 5 split units instead of going in with the conventional bar type unit. And then we found another project at another school this week that we thought we could put some splits in. Carpentry went and looked at it. They can cut holes in the wall. And HVAC said they could put splits in. Electrical said they could run it. So that's all in-house. And so we've saved over $100,000 on those 2 jobs in just that short amount of time. I'm giving an attaboy, as Mr. Joslin said, to our maintenance folks, that they pull together and they work on it together. We have really good success with that, and they do a great job as well as our other employees throughout the system. But I've really been under the microscope with them in the last couple of weeks, and that's just like the East Boulevard job. We had electrical out there, we had carpentry out there, we had plumbing out there, and the HVAC group. So all crafts involved, and so it's just not the one. So.
Okay, and I can
I'm all
follow.
choked up and speaking.
Go ahead, Mr. Go ahead, get your motions, Mr. E. I can come in and follow in on that. We're working on reducing redundancy in our work orders and double tracking. I have Mr. Cody Cole and Mr. Wenzel getting quotes and looking at position locators or for low jacks or trackers for our vehicles, not for a purpose of seeing where they are at, but making sure that if they're in Maryville, we can route them to Singer to save on some time instead of having to swing back or just making random stops. That was requested. Currently, that's in the process. The few quotes we've got back from organizations have been more than we can afford, so we're looking at going something more local and utilizing some phone systems that we have, but that is in place as well. I'm going to give you, I gave you a letter tonight from CD Morgan in terms with our 2023 bond AC project. I have been in contact with Mr. Chris Morgan of CD Morgan extensively in the last 2 weeks, going hand in hand. Part of that list that Mr. Ensminger has was one of the requests I asked principals to do was to go through their campuses and go to every single individual spot and give me an AC update. So I want it all. And Mr. E is actually holding it in his hand. And the great news, and my favorite email came from Ms. Crow and Ms. Galloway from DeRidder Elementary during the transition, was like, DES has no AC issues. It's like, fantastic. And then, of course, I got a couple more, one of them being from Mr. Gore at Singer, and then he said I jinxed myself, and we had 3 or 4 things happen. In the same token, we had a major issue at DeRidder High School where we had to shut down the chiller. It is back up and active, and everything is good there. To say this, that report pleased me because it was the most informational with the least amount of problems that we have had in a long time. So based off what Mr. Morgan had done during our air conditioner bid, where we are at and the issues that we still have existing, we are about 68% parish-wide at full capacity. That's great. I know that's not 100%, but considering we were working in the low 40s in the summer of the drought and dropping quickly, we're at a great place. All right, so I want you to know that, and that I do have some more. We are rolling off of a contract, a maintenance contract with one company. I was in talks this morning with Mr. Ingsminger and a new organization, and we're probably going to look at a possible maintenance contract with them, as the work they've done has been stellar, with citing 2 locations, which would be South Beauregard High School and DeRidder High School, as they hold our chillers, and that's where most of our concern comes from. So in the future, August, September, if I bring that to you, this will not be a surprise to you. This will be something that we've vetted and went out and actually sent them out with Mr. Huller today. They're coming back, and they'll be on site with Mr. Smith next week, and just gathering all of our information and things together. Project updates, which will fall under maintenance. Normally we give that in our building and grounds. South Beauregard Athletic Facilities, I received a very extensive and detailed email from their project manager and their supervisor yesterday. The projected date for completion and occupation of the bleachers is 9/12, our first home game there. We will be playing a jamboree at South Beauregard Stadium, but we will be on the visitor side. That's already taken care of. We are fine to do that, but that date has not changed. However, there was some hiccups on the anchor bolts that were built for the prefab, the press box. They, in my understanding, which is limited but is growing daily as I get back into the swing of it, the prefabs read a 10.1 as a 10.1 or 10.11. And so just something like that happens off-site comes to site, and we've had to make some modifications and have held us up. Yesterday, the architect, Brad Evans, that you know, put the ball back solely on the developer, on the contractor, and said, your guarantees, I'm not speaking for you, Mr. Holly's not going to speak for you, and they felt confident enough to send it in an email. So we're looking, with good weather, if we can get through some of these heat showers, to make some good progress there. Senior high parking and restroom, that has notice to proceed, was given out on Wednesday the 9th. So we will be doing some work there. It'll be about 3 weeks before we have the dirt work for our new exit way out of north of Singer onto Highway 110. But the bus ramp is going to be repaved in the next few days. We're going to start filling in and paving over there right now while we don't have people there.
Real quick, did we settle with the land?
Yesterday, I received the approved contract of the buy-sell agreement from our local council. There were some concerns that had held us up because of clear title issues, but he sent it to me, gave me the go-ahead. I did talk to the architect today and notified him of that. He said because we're about 3 weeks from dirt work, we should have plenty of time to get it all resolved.
Okay.
But we are moving forward with that. And I do have the signature of the seller. It just needs my signature. Moving to DeRidder Junior High and Pinewood restrooms, it has taken a lot longer than we anticipated, but the product is finally, it's going to be worth it. I signed the last little bit of paperwork today, and we are moving into the punch list, so they will have their updated restrooms going into the new school year. We've actually had them way before then. And the South Beauregard Elementary addition began work 3 weeks ago, and we are getting ready to drill shafts. All the dirt work is complete, and they're moving along quite quickly. As many of you know, new construction is always much easier than renovation, and so those reports will always be a positive as opposed to whenever we're having to work around existing structures. With that being said, I'd like for you to look at, should be in your folders, it is a little one-pager called 2023 Bond Projects Remaining. I simplified this as best I could. It's easy for me to understand, and if there's anybody who has questions about it, ask, I'll walk you through it. These are the last remaining projects that have been approved by the board but have not gone out for bid. You will recognize them, and I've grouped them together because once we approved them, I had grouped them per the architect and engineer's advice that when you put them together, you have a larger project, you get more competitive bids, you get more people to bid in. As you see, beside each project is the budgeted amount per what we put in our brochure, what we agreed upon. If you look to the right of that, you'll see in a single column estimated overages. So I want to take a moment to explain that. Probably about the time that we approved for bid the Maryville and East Beauregard baseball, softball. There was a turn in pricing. When we came out of 2023 bond, there was supply issues, so pricing was up. But that, as supplies became more available, pricing went down. We saw some projects come in under what we were budgeted. But as we have turned the corner in 23, late 23 and 24, those of you who work in this field have seen prices begin to steadily go up. And when you look at that first column, there is one particular area there that is filled with ADA and safety codes that I met with an engineer on site, a mechanical and electrical, 2 weeks ago for 2 hours in one little building, and said they gave me their estimates just on everything code-wise that's going to change. So if you look at our last 3 or 4 bids, like the Maryville East Beauregard was 200 over. And then the Singer restroom and parking lot was about 105 over. So there is some growth there. So you'll notice that I built in a safety net overages based off the architect and the engineer's opinion on where, if we went, do everything we asked we wanted to do, where we would be. So for the 2.8 budgeted, I had 3.7 for the DeRidder projects, South Beauregard combination, 2.8 from 2.4, and the DeRidder High School Stadium turf project, 1.3 to 1.8. One of the things that I did not mention that I need to swing back, Rye, is limited spacing for CTE building site prep. Both South Boulevard and the area needed for DeRidder CTE building, landlocked again. And so in order for us to merge and get these things to work, we're going to have to move into other existing buildings and make those tie-ins. When we touch that other building, guess what happens? We got to come up to code. So these are safety cushions to do what we said we were going to do and still be able to bid out the projects and do them. I'm extremely comfortable with this, but I wanted to be upfront with you that this is something that Mr. Hawley and the engineers involved and architects involved has put pen to paper, okay, just to say this is what it's probably going to be to do what we want. I'm happy with that because if you look at that little box over to the right, with the bond premium and the projects that came under, we have an estimated bond fund remaining once all projects are done at 4.9 million. Okay, that's a significant chunk of change. So circle back to my AC report where I said we're at about 68% finished. We could legitimately go into August, putting it on the agenda to go out for bid for another $1 million AC project, bid it out, and then have that installed over the fall and then to the spring months and get our percentages up of new and highly efficient AC units almost to probably 90 to 95%.
Yep.
So that is the plan in my mind. I did not put it on the agenda tonight because it needed to be discussed, but this is with Ms. Carpenter and Ms. Kelly Sonard in purchasing, who is my bond tracker. We are very confident with this. This still gives us cushion if something goes crazy somewhere else. And then once we have moved into bidding all these projects out and the money is set, then we are still looking at almost $4 million to do other projects that we can pick up around the parish in a timely manner, such as finishing them out by fall of next year, because they will be smaller. So that's the plan. I have one more little caveat to add to that that's not on this list. We did receive information from Mr. Larry Hughes yesterday in an email. I forgot to print that out and give that to you, but we are expecting a $275,000 reimbursement that will be coming in per our FEMA and GOSEF reclamations from Hurricane Laura. Mr. Shirley, as per our discussion a month ago or in previous months, and I talked to Ms. Carpenter today, that money will be returned to Avalorum and it will be marked with the code for roofs as we will continue. The roofs on tap for that are going to be 3 of our older buildings. Pinewood, KR, and DeRidder Junior High will be what I attempt to do this year. So that is our maintenance and our project report. And Madam President, if there are no questions, that concludes the superintendent's report.
Awesome, Mr. Larry
I just
Hawley.
have
Thank
one
you.
question
That
on
is
the
awesome.
athletic complex. You said 9/12. That's
9/12?
their completion date?
No, that is the date where we want, that's our home game.
Yeah.
They want to be done. Their project has them finishing a week before them.
Okay. There'll be
And,
sufficient time to
yes.
test everything, the
Yes.
press box and all that good
Yes,
stuff.
it's Fire Marshal is 2 weeks prior to that. That is that they're billing themselves in a week to do any
Okay.
kind of punch list type items. If I am not mistaken, the fire marshal is the last week of August. And I will go back to that email and send it to you. Yes, sir, Mr. Archer.
Debris behind the old stuff.
Go ahead, Mr. Speaker.
I talked to Mr. Harlow about that, the fire chief, and we were working on that. They were getting some input from the community as if they could ascertain if they could burn that. We've gone to plan B and C as well on that, is to get, talk about removing it by hauling it away from there, and then possibly burning it in a trench with a fan so there would not be any smoke. I think that's the most expensive option, but we're still exploring the fire department doing it. If that falls through, then we'll have to spend money to haul it out of there.
And some good news, Mr. Archer, we've had some interested parties that wanted the lumber from those piles come and get them, so we've decreased the size of the debris significantly. And the contractor that we use to remove the trees that we've had to have removed, he has another storage site that we can move them if we have to.
Great. Definitely love hearing extra money.
It doesn't
Oh,
happen
Vermont.
often, but it's a really good feeling knowing that we can knock out something that hadn't been done in a long time and
Yes.
put our school system in a good place for the next 15 years.
And do we know how much remaining reimbursement that we should be expecting from FEMA?
That's, go ahead, Ms.
We're still working on contents was the biggest piece that we're still looking at. I think there might have been another $45,000 in that email as well. And I think contents is right around kind of.
And there was a third part to that email. There will be a inspector on site going to the 5 locations that we are working on. I do know there was it's not litigation, there was some discussion between insurance and ICF, and they're looking to hopefully find some more insurance money that is easier to obtain than through FEMA. But we are making strides, and so much better than we had been. More 275, I'll take it.
Yeah.
That's 3 roofs almost, so, and that's
Yeah.
helping us.
Great job. Thank you.
And
Thank
the
you for all
timeline on
y'all's
that, they
hard
think
work.
we will be finished up with insurance and FEMA by the end of the year. So
That's
that's what we're
good.
pushing for.
It's good. Right before hurricane season starts up again, starts.
Please don't use the H word.
All right. Anybody else have any comments, questions? All right.
Thanks, sir.
Item number 4, to consider and take action with respect to adopting a resolution advertising for bids for the purchase of general obligation school bonds, Series 2025, of parish-wide school district of the Parish of Beauregard, State of Louisiana, and providing for other matters in connection therewith. Mr. Sluter?
Thank you. Grant Schluter with Foley Udell Bond Counsel. That was a great report. That's good news, excellent news. We have 2 items on the agenda for you. Number 4 is advertising the first series of bonds from the voter authorization. It will be $15 million. And the reason we're not selling the entire amount is we do have federal law restrictions on how long we have to expend the bond proceeds. We're going to move quickly with that. This will be the formal advertising. It's going to be a competitive sale. We'll receive electronic bids on August 26th at 11 a.m. And the resolution does authorize, as in past issues, for the superintendent to make the award to the best bidder. So we and the financial advisor will be working with the superintendent, Ms. Ashley, and we will sell the bonds on that date. We'll come back to you for confirmation of the sale at your September 11th board meeting. And on September 25th, you'll have the money in the bank and available for expenditure.
Good deal. All righty. And then, let's see. Should we go ahead and item number 5 too, since we have to talk about both of them?
Well, just quickly, number 5 is just a cleanup item. It's the basic bond resolution, sets forth the general parameters concerning the bond sale.
Okay.
Mr. Sluter, you said there'd be 15 million to begin with?
Right. The first series will be 15 million, and we'll have those funds on September 25th.
But there'll be a second?
There'll be a second issue. I would assume probably it's going to be for the balance of the authorized amount of bonds, and the timing on that will be dependent on your ability to reasonably expect to expend that money within the 3-year period required by the feds. We'll move as quickly as we can, but we can't sell it all right now, unfortunately. We'd love to, but we can't.
I believe we talked about possibly March as the next earliest.
Right. Well, we could easily provide the second tranche by March of next year.
The difficult part for our side is if we were to obtain all 30 million at one time, we're obligated to spend 85% of it within 3 years. We're at 24 million going in, finishing year 2 with year 3 coming up. It's not as easy as it sounds because these projects take 6 months to start to finish to get out for bid. So I would like to have it all, but this does give a little bit of breathing room, still dealing with 2023.
I'm in no hurry, I was just trying to clarify for myself.
Yes, sir.
Here's another question. If the feds drop the rate, how does that affect bonds?
It certainly will help, but surprising thing is the municipal bond market has been holding fairly steady. We sold within the last 2 weeks 25 million for Ouachita schools and 27 million for Rapide schools, and the true interest cost was approximately 4.55 on each of those, which we consider pretty good, and the financial advisor considered good also. And each of them continued to have a nice premium on it also, which provides additional construction funds, as you have had in the past.
Okay. Does anybody else have any questions for Mr. Sluter? Okay, so for item number 4, it's to consider taking action with respect to adopting the resolution for advertising the bids.
Make a motion.
Mr. Bowman made the motion, second by Mr. Thibodeau. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, and then item number 5 is to consider to take action with respect to adopting a resolution authorizing the incurrence of debt and issuance of the general obligation bonds. All those may I get a motion, please? Mr. Redler? Second by Mr. Arshield. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Great. Thank you so much, Mr.
Thank you very
Sluter.
much, and if you don't mind, I'm going to head out and
Yes, sir.
start driving back. Thank
Yes,
you.
sir.
Appreciate it.
Please be careful on your way back.
Thank you.
Okay. Item number 6, to consider approving the fiscal agent agreement for 2025-2026. Ms. Ashley.
Hi, everybody. We do this every year. I'm not gonna read the whole fiscal agent agreement. I will start with the first paragraph, let you know of the local banks in which we utilize, and then Ms. Nikki, you can do what you need to do after the meeting.
Yes,
The
ma'am.
fiscal agency agreement, like I said, is read every year. This agreement is entered into between the Beauregard Parish School Board, a local public depositing authority of the state of Louisiana, hereinafter referred to as Board, and Bank, a financial institution domiciled in Beauregard Parish, Louisiana, and meeting statutory requirements as a fiscal agent under Louisiana Revised Statute 39:1213, hereinafter referred to as the fiscal agent. In consideration of the mutual covenants herein contained, the board agrees to retain fiscal agent, and the fiscal agent agrees to serve during the period and upon the terms of the conditions set forth. As every year, we haven't changed any of our banks. The local banks that we still are banking with are First National Bank, Sabine, Chase, First Federal Bank, Beauregard Federal Savings, and B1. Anybody have any questions regarding that?
Okay. All right, let's see. So can I please have a motion to approve the fiscal agent agreement?
I'll make the motion.
Mr. Sanderford, the motion, second by Mr. Green. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Good deal. All right, and item number 7, to receive the financial reports for the prior month.
Well, I'm gonna follow suit with Mr. Hawley and Mr. Schluter and deliver some good news.
Yay.
I wanted to give you a follow-up on where we are with lien fraud process, if that's okay, just a quick one.
Yes, please.
Today, we were actually able to run our first test, and a successful one at that, to alleviate one of our crosswalks that we utilize, that we've had for a while, and we had it because our financial software was at it was at 2011 was the year of it. When the upgrade happened a couple years ago, we went from 2011 to 2021, and actually, as we speak right now, we are going to 2024. So that crosswalk is not needed, so that's gonna save us some money. I'm gonna use it for one more year as we're just still kicking out some of those kinks, and then go from there. What that will do is it was taking all of our absences from frontline that the teachers utilize, well, anybody, that's where they put their absences, and our subs will pick up their absences in that. We are able to export that data now and directly input it into our financial software instead of it having to talk to that crosswalk in the middle. So that'll alleviate human error. It is going to alleviate, actually get more errors on the front side to fix it instead of having to fix it on the back side. And then those errors, we are only having to fix one time instead of 2 times from that crosswalk. We are finishing up also with the electronic employee reimbursements. So I did that yesterday with Munis. We are looking to be able to roll that out to a small group of people. I'd like to try central office first because they travel the most and they're mostly accessible for me. About August 1st, we're looking at, or I'm looking at, to start picking some people to test it with. What they'll be able to do is log into their employee access. What that is our employees now are they're able to log into their website, see their pay stubs, their W-2 information, make any changes to what they need to. This will allow them to, instead of filling out a piece of paper, giving it to their supervisor, emailing it to the next supervisor, and then it hopefully getting to us in payroll by the payroll date, this will allow the first user to put the reimbursement into employee access. It immediately kicks to Rose or myself, depending if it's grant related or regular fund related for the GL coding. And then it'll kick to the supervisor. So say if it's Title I travel, it'll kick to Ms. Crow for her to approve it. Yep, I told that person they were going to travel. And then immediately after that, we'll go to Selena for her to approve it, that she has all the documentation needed to then import it into the payroll. And there you go. So again, a lot less emailing, a lot less hands for it to touch, and it's following the workflow, so the employee can actually look at it and say, okay, yep, my principal approved it, it's now at the next step, and so on and so forth. Moving on down the road, we will, and I do have to, maybe you all can remember this, where the 10th and the 24th dates came from for those 2 travel miscellaneouses. I tried to find it in policy, I wasn't sure, so just keep that in the back of your mind. Right now, we run those miscellaneous payrolls to do the travel and the teacher reimbursements on the 10th and the 24th. This is going to operate a little bit differently because it captures everything that has been approved by that date that we run it. So when I start testing it, I may have to come to you and look at those 2 dates and figure out where they came from, if it is in policy. So if not, I'll keep you all and Mr. Hawley up to date on it as well. I'm trying to think. We had a had a successful year end. We are already moving into preparation for our audit, where prior to this, we would be getting ready for our audit in October. We're now starting now. Everything's cleaned up, so we're moving right along, so thank you for that approved budget. The bookkeepers are already spending money, so they were happy to get that going. Ms. Crane and I have been working very well with each other in order to get all of this moving forward. They are pretty excited to see what we can make this system do for us. Because like I told you, you can drive it like a Cadillac. And that's what I plan. The other good news that I have for you is you have all of your reports. I don't want to keep you all very long. We are at this point in time General fund, we still have our escrow salaries to pay out, so before I give you that end number. But on the ad valorem side of things, our revenues for this fiscal year were right around a little over $13 million. And our expenditures, and that includes anything encumbered right now. Nobody else is putting anything in for fiscal year '25, that's why we do that cutoff date. Expenditures, including any projects encumbered, is right around a little over 12 million. So at this point, before we do any inventory adjustments, any depreciation adjustments, or any outstanding invoices that may be out, we are looking to be able to put a little over $1 million into the reserve. So it's more for those projects that we are in desperate need of. Did you all have any questions regarding the financial documents that was sent out? Well, I wanted to give you good news. The good news is the same news, so I'd rather go with the good news. That's what I've got, so
Awesome.
you all have a good rest of the week.
Thank you. Love good news. Okay. I will take a motion to adjourn if there is no further business. Mr. Redler and Mr. Arshield.